Hello to the newbies, welcome back to the regulars. It is time for Ted to talk boxing, as a lot of Americans like to say. So Canelo Alvarez outpoints Callum Smith. We're still somewhat in the honeymoon phase of it. It was a really nice victory. I don't think we witnessed greatness, as some people have said. We didn't just witness Sugar Ray Robinson put a dent in Jake LaMotta's chin. We didn't just see Muhammad Ali topple George Foreman against all odds. We just saw an excellent fighter put up an excellent performance. It's on par for course. There's no need for a drama. If you do have Canelo Alvarez as the pound for pound number one, okay. I don't think there is a pound for pound number one. They try to say pound for pound king as if it's solidified, as if it's like a Mayweather or Pacquiao. It's like, no. Canelo Alvarez is the most battle tested out of everyone. That's how I'd put it. There's similarities with him and his former promoter, Oscar De La Hoya. De La Hoya used to fight everyone and generally win, which is the case for Canelo as well, regardless if the decision goes your way or not. He's got that battle-tested, I'll fight you anywhere. De La Hoya, in a 16-month span for Tito Trinidad, Ike Quartey, and Shane Mosley in 16 months. I think they were all undefeated at the time. That's an amazing willingness to just get stuck in against dangerous fighters who you don't know just how good they are. And Canelo has a little bit of that. Big kudos for fighting Erislandy Lara quite a few years ago now, because that was a horrible style for him. And he took that fight. With Canelo, though, I've said it before, I'm sometimes still looking for that X factor that we haven't seen when he's against his top opposition. It seems to taper a little bit. We don't see everything. I think one performance that exemplifies what I'm trying to get at is his fight against Miguel Cotto when he became officially the main man at middleweight. Here's a guy who's been stopped by Manny Pacquiao before. Okay, it was a lower weight. Maybe he was a bit tight at it, catch weight. He's stronger at middle, I get it. But Manny Pacquiao, he's 5'5", 5'6", narrow build. Look at the build difference with Saul Canelo Alvarez. He's a thick 5'8", stocky guy. Supposed to be very powerful. And he doesn't even drop Cotto. He doesn't even hurt him. And it's just that little dynamic that makes me think there's something missing here. I think the knockouts against James Kirkland and Amir Khan kind of flatter him. And the other thing I've spoke about with his stamina, because he's tremendous, he's not an all out and out attacker. He will get in front of you in order to try and make you throw. Then he will use his great head movement, and then he'll outfine you with the counters. I love watching that. It's really crisp and nice to watch. But he doesn't seem to be able to sustain an attack and go through the gears to take our breath away and just go, wow, there's the stoppage. The stoppage he probably should have got against Callum Smith if he was able to just go through those gears. But he always seems to be in that battle, as I've just said. It's a few crisp shots, then move forward, recharge, slip, 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 move, hit you, boom, boom, boom. Breathe a bit, breathe. There's very much a stop and start aspect to Canelo, which has always just made me frown a little bit and just go, where's that extra gear? Now, some people are trying to say he could go on to become the best Mexican fighter of all time. If you compare him against somebody like Salvador Sanchez, Sanchez only fought at featherweight. But one thing Sanchez could do that Canelo doesn't seem to be able to is go through those gears. And Sanchez had tremendous performances against quality opposition. Danny Little Red Lopez, Wilfredo Gomez, and a young Azuma Nelson in his very last fight. 15 rounds it went before he stopped him in the very last round. He showed greatness in those moments. They were X-factor performances against very good opposition, which we just haven't really seen from Canelo. I think he's tremendous. I love watching him. He's got a really high connect ratio. But it's almost like, even though he's got the amazing ability to slip, to stay with you, to punch, it's almost like he's still on a tether. And I don't quite see him become everything he should be. If we talk about the ability to take control back in a crisis situation, like Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. did against Meldrick Taylor back in 1990, I've never really seen Canelo do that yet. The only time he fully had the control taken away from him was against Floyd Mayweather back in 2013. And okay, he was young and it was Floyd Mayweather, but that's the only time I've seen control completely taken away and he didn't know what to do. Despite the controversy, the reason people love Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. and it was El Gran Campeón and it was such a great victory against Taylor was that he was doing terrible in that fight. He was behind, it was against a slickster, but he kept that single-mindedness and started busting him up. That is greatness. And I just haven't seen those certain things from Canelo. Because it's one thing trying to say he's pound for pound the best, but if you're going to start trying to say he's possibly the best Mexican fighter ever, or he could start to rival those guys, that is where I'm going to have to go, well, bring your evidence, because we're going into the court of law for boxing here. Because Mexico is one of the absolute top fighting nations. And another thing in this day and age of the internet and the quick overreactions we get, I saw a little clip posted of the nice dummy Canelo did against Callum Smith, where he faked the right hand, then went in with the hook. Very nice. Shows that creativity he has. But people who have never seen that before think he's reinventing the wheel. Have you not seen Eric Morales before? Eric Morales used to dummy with the right hand all the time. He did it famously in the 5th round of the first amazing Barrera fight. He used to sometimes change the trajectory of a cross halfway through and turn it into an uppercut. Morales used to do incredible things. He used to ab-lib things in a way you haven't seen before. He was like a real warrior technician. And Canelo's got a little bit of that, but this isn't unprecedented. This is not something that we haven't seen before. I see an amazing guy who sometimes isn't able to just go for it and truly blow my socks off. So if you do have him as the pound for pound best in the world right now, fair enough. But those trying to say now we've witnessed greatness, or this guy's on his way now to being the best Mexican fighter of all time, you know, just try and remember those Golovkin fights we've just seen. An old Golovkin, that's how it is, that's how it's already set in history, even if there is a third fight. And remember how he doesn't always seem to shine as bright as he probably should.